the last episode, we finally finished setting up for green signs with transport lines longer than your mama's belt size. But not before playing Mike lost focus enough to make some questionable tech choices on this extremely resource-tight run, choosing to research things like lamps and the 100,000 red signs pack costing and utter useless physical damage upgrade one. Well, at least the first green tech he chose is something useful, as the 1.5 times faster blue assemblers not only upgrade the base from 600 to 900 SPM, they will also reduce the overall pollution output of the base. We smelt some tempered temporary steel, and after having borrowed bunches of belts and insane amounts of inserters from the green sign supply belts, we utilized the Hendrix hand feeding zoo to quickly create enormous amounts of iron gears and green circuits. If you carry those two intermediates on you, combined with some iron, steel, belts and basic yellow inserters, you can handcraft pretty much anything you need on demand as you are building your base, utilizing your full inventory space for stuff you actually need, rather than carrying boatloads of every possible item, but still having to return to your mall every few minutes because you're out of that one item you actually need right now. Anyway, I've crafted 600 grey assemblers over the entire run so far, so I grabbed supplies to upgrade them to 600 blue assemblers. Because we're immediately going to eliminate all grey assemblers from existence, starting right here in the hand feeding zoo. You first gotta increase the capacity to supply before increasing demand, so the red and green signs ingredients are next, before finishing off by replacing the 240 signs pack assemblers in the lab area. But are the blue assemblers actually that much cleaner as their shiny coat of paint makes you believe? Or is this yet another myth that is about to be debunked? Let's find out. The grey assemblers generate 4 pollution a minute, whereas the blue assembler does 3. That doesn't sound like a great difference, especially given that the blue assembler requires twice the dirty coal-powered electricity to run. But the devil is in the details. 300 grey assemblers output 1200 pollution per minute, but the same amount of work can be done by just 200 blue assemblers, generating only half the pollution in the process. And if you run on clean power like solar or nuclear, the comparison ends right here. Blue assemblers are 50% cleaner than grey assemblers. But yeah, at 1000 times science cost we are gonna be running on dirty coal-powered boilers for a long time still. So we are not done yet. We need to analyze what happens when blue assemblers run on coal power. A blue assembler at 160 kW uses twice the power of an 80 kW grey assembler, which means the 200 blue assemblers need 32 MW to run compared to the 24 MW of the grey assemblers, which means the coal powered boilers have to produce an extra 12 MW. A boiler produces 1.8 megawatts of power at the cost of 30 pollution a minute. Which means the boilers are blackening the skies with an extra 200 units of pollution. That brings the total pollution per minute for the grey assemblers to 1600, whereas the blue assemblers end up at 1200. So we can conclude that the blue assemblers on coal power generate a net 75% of the pollution compared to grey assemblers doing the same work. But wait a minute, say the grey assembler fans, of which there are none. Now we need to mine an extra 12 megawatts of coal. How the heck do you even calculate how much pollution that generates? Well, surprisingly simple, really. A piece of coal has a fuel value of 4 megajoules, which simply means we need an extra 3 pieces of coal per second, requiring 6 miners outputting 10 pollution each. And yes, we do need another quarter miner or so to power those 6 miners and itself. But let's not overanalyze, shall we? Anyway, the extra coal mining raises the full total pollution cost of the 200 blue assemblers to 1262.5. And if we throw in another percent or so for the potential extra idle power draw and inserter swings, we can conclude that the blue assemblers actually save 20% instead of 25% over the grey assemblers in the coal-powered era at the cost of eating slightly more coal. However, the blue assemblers have the advantage of giving you finer control over where to output that pollution, as they distribute that pollution output much more evenly between the assembler area, the power plant and even the coal mine. Counterintuitively, spreading out pollution over a larger total area is actually beneficial, as the more chunks you pollute, the more total pollution per minute is absorbed by the terrain's natural pollution dissipating qualities. Anyway, it doesn't take too long to apply the coat of blue paint to every last assembler in the base, and that will be the last time we will ever see a grey assembler in this run again. Or will it be? And with that, the base is now producing and consuming the full 900 signs per minute of red and green signs. Nice. That does however mean though that we are also consuming the full 7.5 belts of iron and 2.5 belts of copper we are mining entirely for producing signs, leaving exactly 0 plates per minute for base building supplies. Let's hope our stacked stockpile will last a while. Our red signs mines are severely dwindling already, however, probably due to some guy putting 100,000 beakers in some damage upgrades or something. So, to keep the belts compressed, we decide to finally start mining from our starter ore patches. We are 57 hours in, and this is the first time that our starter patches have seen an electric mining drill. And the gaps we left in the sign setup conveniently provides us the 2 belts of space we need to bring our starter ores over to the right side of the base, where we sideload them into the main miners belts to fill in any gap in those belts, making sure the ore belts stay nice and compressed and signs output stays on 900 signs per minute for a while. We are definitely in need for supplies for our mall again, so I'm happy to see Playing Mike is indeed fumbling around with some furnace stacks again. Let's not talk about what kind of monstrosity contraption he has created this time. Let's simply be glad that he's gonna be supplying resources for our mall. And I'm surprised to see he's taking it rather serious actually, as he's gone out to mine a double belt of iron and a single full belt of copper. It's flowing into the base as we speak. And we finally get to see the monster furnace stack get to work. Ah, that middle monstrosity is for producing steel. I feel that could have been done a bit simpler there, mate, but okay, it's your base, I guess. Wait a minute, there was another double furnace stack planned out just south of here, right? Mate, I'm all for supplying your mall well, but you are bringing in 3 lanes of resources already, and you haven't even automated basics like belts yet. What are those 2 other belts even for? A stone mine? With 2 belts of stone? Just why? There are literally 0 unlocked recipes that use stone besides from cheap stone furnaces. So I suppose he's gonna smelt it all into bricks? In that yet another horrible furnace contraption. Man, it should be a criminal offense to make power lines connect to each other like that. Chat, I think you broke the man. I guess all your comments like, a base without concrete is just a starter base, have finally gotten to him. I guess steel furnaces are the next logical upgrade to make to the base, but you surely don't need 2 full belts of stuff. Wait a minute. He is not researching steel furnaces, he is researching physical damage upgrade too. That tech is by itself more expensive than every single technology we have researched so far combined. That is 2 million resources down the drain. Why, Mike? Why? Evolution is at over 82%. We are 8% away from behemoth biters. But even the abundant big biters cannot be killed, damage upgrades or not. Damage 2 yellow ammo in gun turrets will still do less damage than the 8 armor of a big biter, let alone the 12 armor of a behemoth. Alright, calm down, son. I'll tell you. It is our only shot. We just simply do not control enough resources to transport our butts off of this planet. We need more. You are right. Yellow ammo cannot kill big biters. Not when they're respawning every couple of seconds from every single nest. But with red ammo, we may stand a chance. Heh, this blueprint thing was never designed to go beyond medium biters. The flimsy pipes would break instantly, and the gun turrets aren't even configured to target big spitters and biters. But with some updates, we could come a long way. Replace the pipes for sturdy walls, and most importantly, switch over to piercing ammo to get through their armor. And an uninterrupted wall around the biter base itself should make for easy blueprint stamping. This was the top secret military plan all along. You counted me a fool for researching damage upgrade 1, thinking I had lost it? Heh, little did you know. You see, unupgraded red ammo at 8 damage exactly matches the 8 point of armor on the big biter. But with 2 damage upgrades, red ammo in a gun turret will now do 11.5 damage, which means that the big biters will take slightly over 3 damage per bullet. That is a whopping 800% damage boost from those 2 upgrades alone. It's still not much though in absolute terms, and each and every big biter will draw a full 12 seconds of continuous gunfire before succumbing, wasting 12 red magazines in the process. And a new big biter will be ready to replace its fallen brother in seconds. Additionally, the big spitter's acid is way more deadly, killing us in a second of inattentiveness. It's not gonna be easy. Yeah, because big biters start chasing me and biting me. Meanwhile, our turrets, including any magazines remaining inside them, will get obliterated much quicker against the big biters and spitters. So yeah, it is a little bit harder than I imagined. Than in our previous battles against the medium worms. Heh, medium worms. At least those guys will be melting away now with our shiny red bullets, as long as we don't encounter any big worms. Or, God forbid, behemoth biters. Those still out-armor even our pointiest of piercing ammo. But evolution is at 83%. We have 7% of evolution progress to go before the unkillable behemoth biters appear. Our time is now. We must take this quickly dwindling and very final window of opportunity to go out and definitively claim the resources we need to get ourselves off of this oversized bug-infested boulder. We must go to war. One final time. This time. Whoa man, I'm already feeling overwhelmed. Look at all the big biters. Yeah, there's just too many biter power on the loose. Well, it is what it is. Not only is it seemingly impossible to put down enough firepower fast enough to make a dent in the big biter pack, it's also such a chaos with biters and spitters running crisscross through my tidy blueprint, it's impossible to place down my turrets accurately according to the blueprint. So yeah, we are getting overrun basically. Everything we place has gotten destroyed. With a nest this large, it's going to be pretty hard to get the firepower up there to take care of all the spawns. So it looks like this nest is a no-no for us then. I thought I could take down the worms at least, but looks like I cannot even do that. I'll do it one more time. I could do it a bit smarter, to be honest. I put this down outside of reach. Try to get them up here. And hopefully they won't be in the way as much. They are definitely in the way as much. And if I misplace even a single turret by a single tile, the gun turret does not get the filters applied and will target the biter nests. The one thing I cannot destroy, or the hands clean achievement will immediately be invalidated. Looks like the military master plan did not survive first contact with the enemy. Yeah, just look at it, man. Everything just goes down too fast. We would need like better gun turrets. Like the better quality ones, but of course we are not gonna unlock quality before... Have I bitten off more than I can chew with this one? The big biters are being replaced too fast. I'm not taking them out fast enough. The spawn rate is just too high here. For every biter we kill, 2 new rise. And that is the story of this a nest this size. Okay, good to know. So, what now? Are we forced to make the challenge easier and simply abandon the hands clean achievement, bringing 20,000 magazines up to this place and then repeatedly failing? Or how many more aces could this guy possibly have up his sleeves? Find out next time!